Hello guys, you're watching Fix. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome. Thank you so much for watching. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how you can buy a backup camera for a car that you have that didn't come with a backup camera, and how to properly wire it and have it set up so that when you put on the reverse, when you put your car in reverse, the backup camera works. So what will you need for this job is, of course, your backup camera kit, which I got off of Amazon. I'll link it down below. It was around 50 bucks. I got one of the better ones, not the cheapest one, just so I don't have any issues, and a decent quality camera, and we can discuss that later. The tools you'll need to install your camera is you'll need a socket set, you'll need some electrical tape, you'll need some kind of prying tool for inside the car, multi-tool that comes with maybe a knife and pliers, some electrical connections, small zip ties, and you may need additional wiring depending on how long this is and where you want to place your camera. I'm installing this on a 2003 Toyota Matrix. So the first step is to, of course, figure out how you're going to run your backup camera wire from the outside to the inside, right? And for that, we're going to have to take off some panels and see where we can mount this. So this camera will mount out to the license plate, and we have to get this wire to stick inside the car. So I figured the best way, without drilling any holes, without doing anything crazy, is I'm gonna take off this cover a little bit, make it loose, take off the license plate light, and fish the wire through the license plate light, so I don't have to make any holes in here, and that way you can look pretty much stock, besides the backup camera, of course. So I have a bunch of these panels, and I'm going to show you the steps for a 2003 Matrix, but it should be pretty similar on whatever car you have. A bunch of panels, you might have clips, some screws. So let's get to it and I'll show you how it's done. So the nice thing about the Toyota Matrix, you got the door that you can open, and then the window comes up. Kind of like this feature in a 2003 car. If you have some long beams, you can fit it. So I'm going to start taking this off. The first cover I'm going to take off is this one. It's just bunch of clips that hold it. Looks like somebody took this off before. One of them is already broken. And then this whole piece is a bunch of clips. So I'm gonna set the camera down, do that, and then I'll go back to you. Alright, so that thing came out as one piece. It was just a bunch of clips. Didn't break any clips, which is good. Then we're gonna go to the, I'm gonna wire the camera from the driver's side. So I'm gonna take off the license plate light on the right side. So let me disconnect the power to it. Okay, gonna get the bulb out. Just twist and turn. Comes out. I'm gonna push this out. Okay. License plate light came out. Now we have a nice hole where we can stick our camera through. So I'm gonna remove the license plate bolts, which is in my case a 10mm, and I'm gonna put the camera behind the license plate and put the screws back, and then I'm gonna fish the wire, and I'll show you that. Okay, so I've connected my dash camera onto the license plate, and now I want to run this wire to go under here on the door latch or whatever. So I need to get this cover loose so I can hide the wire behind there, because this has a thicker piece here as well. So I want to be able to run that, fish that through. So that's, I gotta loosen up the door lock, which is just two 10mm screws, and then there's two plastic clips, but I think I just need to undo one side just to give it a little bit and not too much. So I'm gonna loosen it. I'm not gonna take it off, just so I can lift that cover a little bit. So here I have my wire. It goes, I fished it, I lifted this cover. See, now that I can lift it on one side, and it's gonna give me space, because now this is going to be picking up the license plate housing a little bit, license plate light housing a little bit. So this is gonna give me a little bit of room to put that back in there. Okay, let me put back the light, and then I'll show you the next step. Okay guys, so what I ended up doing is I had to force the wire to the top of the housing and then around the back, because the clips are on the left and right side, so what you couldn't force the clip inside. So from the inside, this is how it looks. See how it goes from the top, and it's perfectly, you can perfectly clip in both clips of the housing. If you're worried about a water leak, you could silicone around the edges, but I don't think that'll even be necessary. So yeah, let me put back the bulb and start with continuing of the wiring. Okay, so now I fished the wire through where the lock goes and out through the side here. Now we're gonna take our main wiring harness that goes to the actual screen, and one side goes to the camera, and these two wires that are on the back end, one is ground and the other is power. So you're gonna strip those wires, and you're gonna run these two to where your reverse light is. So behind my cover here, take this off, we have right there our reverse light. So we're gonna connect one side to a ground anywhere. Probably gonna do it one of these bolts here, and that one looks okay, and power is going to go to power of the reverse light. So let me do that, and I'll show you the next step. Okay, so this is the area where I ran into where I'm gonna need more wiring, because if I want to hide the wire nice and neat, I'm gonna run it around the edges, and now this is not really long enough to get back in there, so I'm just gonna extend these two by connecting, you know, a couple of wires that I had in the house. I'm just gonna connect them here and extend it to give myself some room where I can hide the wires. So let me do that, and then we're gonna connect power to the reverse light. Also guys, another thing I did, because I don't want to have the wire visible, so I ran it inside. I took off this weather trim here, just pull it out, and then I stuck the wire on the inside of the trim all the way until it's going to be visible only here. It's going to come through here, and then I'm going to put it inside this trim here as well. I mean, not inside the trim, actually. Right here, I'm going to force it behind the cover and run it down and into where I need to connect power and ground. Okay, so now that the only thing you can see goes from the top through the trim, comes out here. The red wire with the ground goes through here and comes out here. And then I fished the one that's going to the to the actual screen. I already started wiring it, pulling it that way, and it's gonna go to the front that way. Okay, so now we're gonna, oh, that's my daughter right there. We're gonna take out the light bulb. Here we go. And somebody already had a dash camera on this car before. They left the wire stripped. That's not smart. So we're gonna connect our power to there, red wire to there, and then ground to put it on this bolt here, and then we'll be finished with the power. Stripping the red wire if it's covered in insulation. You want to be very careful that you don't cut through the actual wiring, just that rubber. So be careful and try to get something like that. It doesn't have to be that big. So now I have my power wire attached to the power side, positive side of the light bulb for the reverse light. My ground, I took off the nut, put it behind it. It's nice and tight. This plastic should be here. Okay, I'm gonna put the light bulb back, and then we're gonna test it to make sure it works. Okay guys, so now you're gonna connect the wire from the screen to the dash camera. Backup camera wire that comes. Reconnect it, and we're gonna go test it before we run this wire. Okay, so make sure you put on your e-brake when you put in your car in reverse. You don't have to start it. E-brake up, reverse light. Reverse. I bet you it's working. Okay, so we know that the dash camera is working. Make sure you reinstall all your covers. I put in a couple of zip ties here just to keep it a little bit neater. And now all it takes is to run this wire all the way to the front, hide it as best as possible using your prying tool to get it underneath the headliner and the A-pillar in the front, and then around your steering wheel and to the front. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. This was the video how to connect your backup camera, and so you can drive safely, park safer. If you have any questions, put in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer any of your questions. Take care until next time.